Hello, this is a short video tutorial about investing. Its goal is to educate the viewer on a simple method of investing in the stock market. There are many ways to invest in the market. They can be quite intimidating, so I'm going to show you the way to invest in the stock market without all the confusion and distress. Now, there are thousands of stocks you can invest in, but most people invest in mutual funds or exchange-traded funds, abbreviated ETFs. Not much difference between the two, so I won't go into it. But these funds are like a portfolio or a package of stocks. If you invest in the fund, you're investing in all the stocks within that fund. Now, there are many, just like stocks, there are many funds you can invest in. So to simplify things, I'm only going to talk about what we call index funds. An index is a portfolio of stocks designed to reflect the overall market. You've probably heard of the Dow or the S&P 500. There's also the NASDAQ. Those are the three most popular index funds in the market. Now, specifically the S&P 500 provides the most diversity compared to the other two. For a stock to be part of the S&P 500, it must reach specific thresholds and meet specific requirements. This means the stocks in the index are the best of the best. They are the all-stars of the stock market. If you invest in the S&P 500, you're investing in the best companies in America. Warren Buffett, one of the most respected and successful names in investing, has long recommended that investors put their money in low-cost index funds. The S&P 500 includes big-name companies like Apple, Visa, Google, Microsoft, Coca-Cola, and Amazon. Buffett says consistently buying an S&P 500 low-cost index fund makes the most sense for the average investor. As you see my graphic, you'll see a sample of the most popular stocks within the S&P 500, and they're all quite impressive. Now, just about every major investment company has mutual funds that invest in the S&P 500, but some charge higher fees than others. Vanguard typically has the lowest management fees. Now, here I'm going to show you a sample of the different funds that you can invest in the different companies. There's very little difference in these funds except for maybe the expense ratio. Typically, they're all invested in all 500 stocks within the S&P 500. So again, there's not a lot of difference between any of these funds. So you want to look at the fund that has the lowest expense ratio because you don't want the management fees and expenses to eat away at your gains. Now, the S&P 500 index has been around for quite some time, probably over 60 years. And in that time, it's averaged about 8% annual return. And that's a pretty decent return. Although recently it's done better. In the last 20 years, it's gained about 10% a year. Last 10 years, it's returned about 13%. Now, the stock market can have good times and bad times. You've heard of bull market, which is when the market is doing well, and a bear market when it's not. Don't get excited when the market is not doing well. Think of it as 2 steps forward, 1 step back process. And ride out the bad times and do not sell. You will do well. Now, of course, you have the option of buying and selling portions of your investment depending on your financial situation. You might have run into some money and you don't know what to do with it. You might want to invest it in this fund. Or if you're in the process of buying a car or having to make a tuition payment, you might want to sell some of it to help pay for that. The golden rule is to buy low, sell high. And if you follow the market on a daily basis, you know when these highs and lows occur, you can act accordingly. If the market is high, you need to make a purchase, sell some, and when the market is low and you have some extra money you want to invest, put it in the fund. And that's the best time to invest, when the market's down. You think of the market as being on sale. Now, if you don't typically follow the market on a daily basis, put the money in as you can afford to and leave it there. It's called buy and hold, which a lot of investment managers adhere to. Buy and hold. Buy it, forget about it. Over time, it's going to do well. Now, like I said, most investment firms have funds that invest in the S&P 500. And again, because the fund doesn't require a lot of management, essentially it's just buying all 500 stocks of the mutual fund of the S&P 500. So there's not a lot of management fees, not a lot of expenses, so the expenses should be rather low. I'm providing you a list of some of the mutual funds with the lowest expense ratios, lowest management fees. These are the funds that you should consider investing in. You'll find them, for instance, in Fidelity, Schwab, or Vanguard. So there you have it. It's as simple as that. Invest in the S&P 500 index mutual funds and you'll be doing fine. Thank you.